Revent builds, behind the build, episode 17, baby. I cannot believe we've been doing this for 17 weeks. This past week was nothing short of monumental. The $1 million pool foundation, donezo. We are officially working on the pool component over at the kitchen fit for a Viking. We put in one of the most intricate island tops that we have done in the history of Revent. It came out phenomenally. We had a kitchen and bath remodel, finished out, photographed, looks absolutely stunning. Then over at our West Austin remodel and addition, we have some serious framing going up. Then finally, we just started a new project in Zilker Park, one of our favorite neighborhoods. This is an older 1920s home, addition on the front, addition on the back, whole remodel of the house. It's an awesome project. Let's hop in. So we have a wonderful project in Zilker Park. I always love working on older homes for multiple reasons. I think the aesthetic of an older home is just always fun, but there's also added layers of complexity and there's always unique challenges with older homes. When you're dealing with original structures and adding new structures onto that, it's like plastic surgery. You have to make all of these seams blend together super well. We have existing foundation that we're working with, existing framing, and then starting off with demo is exactly where we're at. Pedro and the guys are out there and they are doing just that. They're tearing this house apart. Like we're ripping the whole entire interior down to the studs. So they're in there pulling sheetrock, insulation, all of the guts of the interior, electric, mechanical, plumbing, all of it. So they're in there doing that, but we're also looking at all of these inner components. Like another big thing that we always have to watch out for is if there is something that is unsafe or unsound, when we uncover it, we immediately have to let our clients know. But honestly, this house was built damn well. It was remodeled somewhat recently, so it has a good foundation. It has that old, super strong wood from the early 1900s, and it is a sturdy house. But the guys are taking dumpster after dumpster after dumpster of all the interior and most of the exterior of this home away. Literally every single load-bearing wall in this house is coming out. So while we demo, we're gonna have to put up temporary support walls when we take out that structure. And then we need to rip the whole entire front face and rear face off of this house because we're doing 2-story additions on the front and the rear. And our foundation contractor needs all of that gone so that we can properly attach. We're doing slab foundations. So these are gonna be solid concrete attaching to pier and beam. Next steps, we need to get our concrete contractor out there and start this foundation. And then once the foundation is in, we're gonna fly through frame, get those additions framed up, just keep everything pushing. On to an awesome, largely kitchen and bath project that we just finished up. But seeing the finished product is just another reminder of how freaking badass we are. Aesthetically, it just has this glow of freshness, light, and airy, inviting. We did some massive structural work where we took out multiple load-bearing walls in the kitchen. You'll see the beams in the ceiling. We had one beam that ran across the ceiling right into where our vent hood was, right? So the vent hood surround meets this beam and we were kind of like, ah, man, you know, that's tough. So I suggested we do another beam on the other side of the room so we have some symmetry, and honestly, it came out to be a really cool feature. We have a massive kitchen island. It is just so awesome looking at, you used to look right at a wall when you walked through the front door, and now you can look into this kitchen and the living room, and it's just this awesome open concept. We totally modernized it up. The cabinetry on this project, if I haven't spoken about Soul Solutions enough, these guys are absolute pros. It is absolutely flawless. They also did a custom banquette, which I always love, like in the breakfast nook right off the kitchen. Then we had a full master bath remodel, which was a gut and redo. We did an awesome oak staircase. That moment is just beautiful. You walk right through the front door. You have these amazing 20-foot tall ceilings right in the foyer, and you look at this awesome curved staircase, and all of that white backdrop just gives a clean palette to that beautiful oak. I absolutely love this project. It's been under the radar. It hasn't taken up much of my bandwidth. It came out incredible. The clients are super happy. It is a win all the way around. The $1 million pool, the project that just keeps giving. Hands down, the most intense foundation we've ever done in our whole career. The massive 30-foot tall foundation is officially done. So we have started on the pool component. We are building on top of that foundation. The new rebar is going up, which will make up the pool shell itself. And then remember, we're infinity edge on both of the front-facing sides of this pool. So the tricky parts here is getting all of our elevations correct, because that pool has to be at the same finished floor level of that deck, which is the threshold of the door that goes into the main level. So we basically started off with that elevation, and we worked our way backwards from the foundation up, and now the pool has to meet that perfectly. I mean, imagine if it was too high or too low, that would be an absolute killer of this whole project. So we've been very meticulous on that. This pool is enormous. It is a huge pool. It would be a big pool on the ground, but 35 feet in the air, this thing is like the freaking 8th wonder of the world. And why I call this job the job that keeps on giving is we have a whole phase 2. We're doing about a 1,200 square foot addition to the lower level of the house. Then after that, we're gonna move on to a full remodel of the existing house with another 1,500 square foot master suite addition up top. So this project is gonna be in full force for at least the next year. We're in planning and design on phases 2 and 3. Phase 2 edition, most of the architecture is done. We are in planning and design on the interior design and phase 3 right now. So what we're gonna do is get phase 2 going up, and then phase 3 is gonna be ready right in time that we can work them in tandem and just keep taking off like a rocket ship. We are closing in on the final stretch at the kitchen fit for a Viking. This is one of our coolest, most unique kitchens to date. We got the kitchen island in. This is like the main focal point of the kitchen. And what's unique about it is the whole perimeter edge of the island is mitered to about 4 inches thick. So this is about 4 times the regular size of the thickness of a slab. So what we have to do for that is our fabricator has to cut these pieces, and they have to grain match so that they spill over the side, and then he has to cut each piece at an angle that's called a miter so that they meet at that perfect corner. Polish the whole edge, but then you glue it all together, and that's what makes up that curve. And even looking at this thing, you cannot tell that there's all these individual pieces at those curves, and it really just sets the thing off. This island must weigh about 400 to 500 pounds on its own, maybe even more. So we have to get it into a finished house, not damage anything in the process, and put it on finished cabinetry. So they have to pick this freaking thing up, get it on the island, and position it correctly with such a level of care that is just cannot be underestimated. Another cool little thing we did for our client is he's a big sauna and cold plunge guy. So he had a sauna in his garage that was taking up way too much space. He asked us if we can move that sauna outside. We built an awesome custom Trex, which is a synthetic deck material. It's made of basically PVC. It'll last 100 freaking years. Pedro cut it at this awesome curved radius and put it right in the corner of the fence. We had to trench and run some 220-volt electric to power the sauna, but now with the sauna sitting on this awesome platform right on top of the turf, it looks like it came with the house. It looks completely built in and just a nice little perk. I love this client so much. I said, you know what, I'll just do this at cost. It was pretty easy for us. It took us about a weekend. We knocked it out. They're super happy all the way around. I cannot wait to put the final touches on this project, get it photographed, and we have some awesome video coming up where we're gonna unveil who this secret high-profile client is, so stay tuned for that. Our West Austin remodel and addition project, the foundation is officially done. And again, in size, this project isn't as large as some of our others, but this is a pretty intense foundation. It's going below a little bit in the basement level. So we have these retaining walls that are holding back earth, and that's where we have to put our framing on top of to build the new structure. Everything with the framing has gone very, very well. We had some manufactured floor trusses spanning this area. And like I said, the walls on top of those retaining walls, and this is a 2-story addition. And in the time frame of about a week, we're largely done, probably 80% done with the framing. Everything is looking awesome over there. I'm very eager to move on to the next phase, get a roof on this baby, get all of our rough mechanicals, electric, plumbing in, and then we'll really be rolling on to finish up. I am worn out just talking about these projects. It is amazing what is going on, how many moving pieces we have going on at one time, controlled chaos. Everything is working very, very well. Of course, obstacles are coming up, roadblocks, but we are smashing through them on every project. Thank you all again so much for watching. I love each and every one of you. Stay tuned for next week. Episode 18 is going to be another awesome one.